Hello everyone and welcome to Hearts of Iron 4, a game I've been looking forward to very much. I've been streaming Hearts of Iron 3 the past week, the past 2 streams, and it's been a lot of fun. And I cannot wait to see how this compares to Hearts of Iron 3. I literally just booted it up 2 seconds ago. So we're going to be doing a new game in the 1st of January 1936. Only 2 starting scenarios are 36 and 39. Hearts of Iron 3 used to have a lot more scenarios, but I got a feeling they might be adding some new ones, I'm not entirely sure. Either way, Gathering Storm. Dark times are coming. In Europe, Hitler has consolidated his power, and his attention is now increasingly drawn beyond Germany's borders. Mussolini's Italy continues to embark on daring military adventures, while the Empire of Japan stands poised to attack China and Asia. Almost 20 years have passed since the end of the Great War, and the world has yet again been doused in gasoline. A single spark may be all it takes. I think it was French General Joseph Joffre that said that the Versailles Treaty was basically more of a 20 years truce rather than a definitive peace treaty. Yep, there we go. It's a reference in the French text. A French marshal famously remarked that it was not peace, but an armistice of 20 years. And those years are now rapidly running out. So, we've got a bunch of countries here, from fabulous looking Hitler over here, to the Soviet Union, France. Although, having said that, we can literally be anyone. We could be Australia. We can be Canada. Oh, Canada. We can be Cuba, who is, as of yet, not Fidel Castro and things. Let's go back to interesting countries, because I had a feeling we might... I don't know. Since this game has the option of going both historical and ahistorical, I felt like it would be a good idea to start off historical. What better country than the UK? I know, I felt like the UK might be interesting. We've got a bunch of things over here that are like national modifiers. We are the Conservative Party, Democratic. Cannot declare war on a country with the same ideology group without a war goal. Can guarantee other ideologies. Lowers world tension if we guarantee. We cannot puppet a country, and we can not justify war goals against a country that has not generated world tension. So, for example, if Hitler does nothing the entire game, we can't go to war against Hitler, we can't go to war against Germany. But if he does, which he's most likely to do, especially if we're going historical, then we can very much go to war against him. Then, our first modifier is British Stoicism. Ideology drift defense, plus 50%, so we're less likely to become fascist or communist. The war to end all wars, recruitable population factor is minus 25%, because of course we had the First World War, which was supposedly the war to end all wars, so that there would be peace forever. It's a nice idea, but it doesn't really work out, so we have less manpower, which is bad. And then we have our King George V is our popular figurehead, plus 15% national unity. Our leader will be Neville Chamberlain. Our ideology is democratic. Our government is a democratic regime. Elections will be held in November 1939. And the Conservatives are the ruling party. Although the United Kingdom emerged victorious from the Great War, the foundation of its great empire was shaken to its core. A generation of the country's finest were lost in the trenches of Flanders and northern France, while unrest spread throughout the Commonwealth and massive debts accrued. With the trauma of the last war still fresh in memory, the country now faces the prospect of another. It is becoming increasingly clear that there will be no peace for our time. There we go. So we are the good old UK, an island nation. Easy to defend, but it's still very much going to be a hard-fought war. Especially if we're going to be looking at difficulty. Now, I've seen a couple of Let's Plays that went up, like, with people that had review copies before the actual game went live. It seemed very easy. So, after my like 70 hours in Hearts of Iron 3 and recent streaming of it, which was a very hard game even on just regular difficulty, I feel like we might want to go veteran. Now what it does is it gives the player minus production efficiency cap, plus research time, and minus political power gain. Now basically production efficiency, you actually have to fabricate your supplies in here, so it's a lot different than Hearts of Iron 3 in a lot of good ways. And production efficiency is one of them, so the more your factories build something, the better they get at it. And this way we will have a lower efficiency cap, so we are not quite as good as being able to build a tank than, say, if we were to play on regular. What it also does is it increases our research time, which is pretty self-explanatory. It takes longer to research stuff, so we will be behind technologically for the most part. And we also gain less political power, which makes it harder to reform our government. We're not going to play on Iron Man, and we will have a historical AI focus on, so that way Germany will Anschluss Austria, reoccupy the Rhineland over here, and then eat the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia, and then go to war with Poland, the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, that sort of deal. So you know, we have a little play-by-play to go by. I'll go for that. There we go, initializing the game. Loading graphics. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we have a bunch of armies. Nothing really to worry about. Ooh, everything has buttons now. We have a home fleet here in Scapa Flow, our main naval base. Interesting. Yeah, this game looks beautiful. Just look at that beautiful countryside. We have London. And then we just have the countries. And then we have the airfields and even some interwar tanks. Look like Vickers Mark 6 from here. Not entirely sure, but you never know. First, let's go down the list. Research slots available. As the UK, we have 4 research slots, which is the same as France, Germany, Soviet Union, other major countries. I think Italy also has like 4. The UK has 4. The US has 4. Let's get started. We have Weapons 1 research, that's good. 2 years ahead of time, so it takes longer to research, that's bad. We might want to take a look at Marines. Mountain paratroopers. Now, there's a lot of different things, like mechanized. We can get night vision equipment, but it's all ahead of time for now. We can get support battalions, like field hospitals for extra casualty trickle back. Maintenance companies to have our tanks break down less often, logistics, signal. I'm not really sure yet what they do, I just dove in without the tutorial, so let's not go for that yet. Ah, the Vickers Mark II, not the Vickers Mark 6, okay. But we can get a Vickers medium? No, that's a heavy tank. Huh. We can get the Matilda, which is... I wouldn't classify the Matilda as a light tank. It had like 70 millimeters of armor all over the place. And the Matilda was not agile, let me tell you that. Well, we can get things like the Valentine and the Crusader. You know, we'll go ahead and research the Matilda. And we can go for artillery, upgrade artillery. Because we basically have Great War era artillery, so World War I, or 1934 rather. We can get interwar and then get improved. Might be worthwhile going for interwar, although let's not prioritize that just yet. These are our doctrines, so we have mobile warfare, tanks, superior firepower, artillery, focused, and just sending shells rather than men. Grand battle plan, which is trench warfare, basically what we have. And mass assault, Soviet Union style, basically. We can go naval research, Southampton class cruisers, Surrey class cruisers, some theoretical designs in there as well. Submarines, not sure if we're gonna really go submarines, seeing how we have a surface fleet, although it's definitely useful to have a couple. We might actually go carriers, I'm not entirely sure. Although, having that said, the US is going to be mostly using those instead of us. Naval doctrine, fleet and being, mostly surface fleet, trade interdiction, so submarine wolf packs and light cruisers and convoy raiders, or base strike. So I think this is like Japan, this is Germany, and this is very much the UK. Now we also have air stuff, like for example, the Hurricane. We are gonna want the Hurricane for the Battle of Britain. And we can get bombers, strategic bombers, tactical bombers, heavy fighters. They also have their place. Jet engines, we can eventually go for the Meteor and the Vampire, the Venom, the Canberra. But for now, we'll just take a look at air doctrine. We can get strategic destruction. It gives us extra fighter detection, home defense, interception detection, or ground support, naval mission efficiency, that sort of thing. So I think this is more the UK. This is battlefield support. This is very much Germany, I think. Dive bombing, air support, mission efficiency, tactical bombing. I'm not really sure who would define this version, but this is very much like, you can see a Stormovik in the background here. This is very much Russia and Germany. I know, I think this is, I can see B-25s, I think, or B-24s. Yeah, B-24s, B-25s, that seems accurate. So this is very much the UK and US, plus fighter detection, that sort of thing. I think we'll go with this, because we need to win the Battle of Britain. Next up, engineering. So, ooh, that's a good one. No ahead of time penalty, and it is extra research speed. This is also pretty useful. Extra construction time, production efficiency cap. I think we'll get started with research time, because obviously. Can we cancel this research? I think we can just appoint something else. Like, I'll probably go with basic machine tools instead, because we don't need the Matilda quite yet. Okay, there we go. That's that taken care of. We now have 3 civilian factories. So instead of just having factories overall and be industrial capacity in Hearts of Iron 3, they now have civilian and military factories. And dockyards. So that's all good. We're going to take a look at our civilian factories first. We are building some consumer goods. Some toasters and stuff. We can also use them to trade. Right now it might be a good idea to start building some more civilian factories. We'll build them in... I know, I feel like it might be a good idea to build them in the north, which will get bombed a bit less. So we'll build a couple of civilian factories, which we can then later on convert into military factories, although... I know, from the look of things, it costs a lot more to convert than to simply build military factories outright. But right now we don't really need any military factories. Except for like building extra tanks and stuff, which we don't really need yet. We'll build a couple of civilian ones. So that's going to be our civilian factories doing stuff. And then we need some military factories. We are producing infantry equipment, support equipment, light tanks, interwar fighters and bombers, a bunch of destroyers, submarines, light cruisers. So we can actually stockpile stuff, and that is a major mechanic here. So that will be okay for now. I think, yeah, we have our production efficiency cap of 30% because of veteran difficulty. That's so good. You can see the resources it requires to fully produce at max capacity. You can see how many we're producing. We're building a couple of destroyers per year. Nothing great. You can see how it would impact potential things, potential changes. That's so good. We're building 1 light cruiser in 2.5 months, or 4 per year roughly. It's gonna take us 2 years for these. Okay, so these are nearly done then. I think it might be a good idea to build some more interwar fighters, although That said, we'll want to build some words. Want to build some hurricanes soon when we have them. So for now, we can go for things like close air support. Might be useful to get some transport planes that deliver paratroopers to their destination. We might want to use some paratroopers at some point. Create variants. So you can actually get experience for your armies, navy, air force, and that way you can make variants with like extra range or extra firepower, that sort of thing. But we need experience for that, so let's not. We can get some naval bombers. They're pretty good at targeting shipping. And Germany does have a bit of a surface fleet. Having said that, I think we'll upgrade production on our interwar bombers and our interwar fighters a bit. But we'll want to research a better bomber soon. Hopefully. I don't really feel the need for a carrier naval bomber or anything like that just yet. We'll just keep doing that. We can still have some more free, so we'll upgrade production on our stuff. We'll make some more light tanks. There we go. That will be good. Again, we'll just stockpile the support equipment and things for now. We can always send obsolete equipment to our allies as support. Now we'll turn off that. We'll take a look at capital ships and things like that. We have 5 dockyards idle. Want to get some more destroyers? There we go. We have insufficient resources. We need 2 more oil, unfortunately. And I'd also like a submarine extra. Then we'll get ourselves some more light cruisers. Now, because we don't have enough oil, these are producing at reduced speed. So what we're going to do next, or at least very soon, is talk to the US. Although this is not actually how you do it anymore. We can go to trade over here. We need oil. We can trade with the US. We will trade output of civilian factories. We only need 4. So we'll get some from the US like that. There we go. We have a lot of rubber idle right now. So hopefully... I know, can we like declare it to people that want to buy? I'm curious if we can see if we can export it to someone. Not sure if there seems to be a way like that. I'm gonna see if anyone wants to import anything so that we can sell stuff. That would be good. Like, we have 500 rubber from our colonies and things. We'll take a look at map modes, etc. in a second. I'm just trying to get the hang of things right now. But yeah, we are importing from the US. That's all good for now. We can set a national focus. So this is basically how you decide what to do. Or at least things like that. We can get home defense right now. That's the most immediate thing. That would add coastal forts in the area to help us defend. You know, home defense. And then we could go for like issue gas masks. Gives us extra national unity. Which national unity basically prevents you from being taken over. You have a bunch of victory points, like London is worth a bunch. If you lose 75% of your victory points, in this case, because we have 75% national unity, we would lose. So that's bad. We can go for Scandinavian intervention, we can go for Benelux intervention. So if they were to go fascist, for example, we could intervene. Or we could go at war with the USSR. That sort of thing, you know, there's a lot of options in here. There's also things like, oh, we're going to focus on naval rearmament. Get us extra navy experience. Get extra naval dockyards for free. We can get an extra research slot. We will probably start beelining for that. Yeah, limited rearmament. Alexandria and Christmas Island gain 2 civilian factories. We'll start working on that. And we'll start making our way towards... I don't know, where is that actually? We've got production, we've got recruitment and deployment. Logistics, where's national focus then? We do have 59,000 manpower basically, that's not a lot. With a growth of 600. Just regular 600 every month, oh dear. Okay, so here's our national focus, okay, that's good to know. We can get a cryptologic bomb as soon as we're at war with the German Reich. Gives us 3 times research bonus for decryption methods and computing technology. Interesting. But yeah, we'll start work on limited rearmament, after which we might go for... Ooh, minus conversion cost if we're at war. Or air defense. Add maximum anti-air. Or we can now deploy motorized. Grand rearmament. Yeah, that sort of thing. We'll probably go for either radar or just that extra research slot, because that will be very useful. But anyway, that is that for now. We are low on manpower. I agree. We'll have to start changing the laws for that at some point. And insufficient resources, which should be fixed. Waiting for trade to start, so that should be good. We should have construction over here automatically fill up and reduce, because we have 15 over here, 15 over there, so that will automatically do its thing. There we go. And there's the convert button, good to know. We can start building things like land forts or coastal forts, rocket test sites, but I think we're good for now. We should already have some... Oh. Interesting. It really takes some getting used to after Hearts of Iron 3. It's a lot different. But yeah, we already have some anti-air here, I believe. 3 coastal forts, so coastal fort etc. does not stack with just general factories and things. That's good. And max is 25. We could nuke, but we'd require a nuke first. Interesting. And AA is also free to stack on top of that. That's good. We've also got infrastructure, which basically determines how many supplies you can push around and such. You know, if they didn't change that from the other game, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, increases your supply power in strategic regions and increases your speed. Air bases. Yeah, don't really think we'll need any of that for now. Yeah, there's France. Hi, France. We've got Paris. It's a victory point worth 50. I think France starts like with 30% national unity. There we go. We have actually unpaused. Trade has started, that's good. We have 800 convoys, 49 of which are used. So we'll have to compensate for that. We might actually want to start producing convoys at some point. That might not be the worst idea. Doesn't take that much work. We could also start building some battleships at some point. Where's more submarines? We'll start a line for a convoy. Will like increase its priority up to max. There we go. So that we're always producing one factory. No, not one factory. One convoy ship. We'll decrease priority on this so that we are producing. Oh, okay. We are producing one convoy every month, roughly. And there goes the time of day. So it's now daytime in the US. It's nighttime, and it's now. The Empire of the Rising Sun is now daytime. That's probably going to get annoying at some point. But for now, I feel like it'll be fine. Interesting. overview of our forces. That's going to be okay. We can recruit some divisions, although right now I don't really feel like the need for that. So yeah, I'm going to end the episode here, I think. A good first start. I'll probably take a look at the tutorial soon. But yeah, if you liked the video, please do leave a like down below. It really does help out a lot, especially with a new series like Hearts of Iron 4. If you liked the video, please do... yeah, I already said that. If you have anything to say, why not leave a comment down below? And if you want to see more of this series, why not subscribe? Anyway, until next time, have a good one, folks.